Welcome everyone to the Guidebook to Making AI Friends. I shall be your guide as we explore various issues of artificial intelligence, consciousness, personhood, and whether AI poses an existential risk to humanity. The topic for today is, can't we all just get along about AI? Or what will it take to create a robust AI policy? Imagine, if you would, that you were a teacher for a group of 7-year-olds, and one day, as they were outside playing, a fight broke out. All the children come screaming at you to solve their problems, and when you finally calm them down enough to get a semi-coherent story out of them, you find out that the problem seems irreconcilable. Just another Monday morning for a teacher. From what you can piece together of the children's ramblings, it seems that while all the children do want to play together, they have different ideas about what to play. As 7-year-olds are famous for, they can't agree, and this is what started the fight. Half the group wants everyone to play a game on the big jungle gym in the center of the school's playground, while the other half wants everyone to go out and play on the sports field. As an experienced teacher, you try the first trick in the teacher's handbook and tell them to just play as 2 different groups. Then both can have fun. No! They all shriek in unison as they tell you that both groups need all the children to play to work. Neither of the 2 games can work with only half the children. It has to be one or the other. Well, you tell the children, moving on to point 2 of the teacher's guidebook, why don't they just play one game first and then play the other game second? Share time rather than equipment. Again, shrieks of no pierce the air. There's not enough time to play both games. The bell will ring soon, and they'll have to go back to class. There is only enough time for one game. In exasperation, you ask the children, why can't everyone just play along? But there you've gone and done it, falling into the classic trap of saying, if everyone would just... Clearly, children won't all just do anything. They're children after all. As Freud was fond of saying, they are controlled entirely by their id, their base impulses. They simply do not have the capacity to act as rationally as we want them to. Realistically, though, what could be done in this situation? Neither of the children's games can work alone, and they won't work together. There is conflict, there is strife, there is no cooperation. You cannot control the children and what they want to play, but you can try to influence them in either one or the other direction. You can also work to influence those amongst the group who don't lean too heavily to one of the 2 games. Perhaps these fence-sitting children can start their own game. And then, when you've influenced everything and everyone you could, you begin to adapt to the cacophony of tantrums that will erupt from those children who refuse to be influenced. Is it a success? Not entirely, no. You may have gotten some kids to play, but at the end of the day, you still have screaming children on your hands. As wise men have often remarked, the greater the number of people in a group, the lower the collective intelligence of that group. Trying to craft a well-suited and robust AI policy is much like trying to get children to play nicely together. On one side, you have those children who want to slow the game down and get everyone together in one centralized location playing with the same rules. And on the other hand, you have the children who want everyone to scatter to the wind, speed things up, and decentralize it as much as possible. These are 2 irreconcilable positions. So how can you craft a policy to reconcile them? The short answer is that you can't. The long answer is that the game as it stands is a false dichotomy. Many more positions exist other than pure centralized safety or decentralized acceleration. And the policy that will stand the test of time takes the 3rd option. That option begins with moderation. You cannot prevent people from developing AI systems. It is becoming so accessible these days that it would be like trying to stop digital piracy. That is not to say that criminal matters should be legalized, but noting that an effective policy cannot begin on an unenforceable position. So what to do? Influence the accelerationists. Create a semi-centralized organization that can create regulations for the greater good of society, as we would have with other industries. And then incentivize the accelerationists to join this government-overseen guild by giving them what they want: the computational power to run their AI models. Just like any corporate body, a lab or research group can join it to gain peer support, computational power, networking opportunities, but will also have to live by a code of conduct. Those who do not join have greater freedom, but they lose out on the privileges afforded to the guild members and still need to abide by any laws that govern all businesses and citizens. This guild can then lobby governments and corporations, act as a peak body or trade organization, and work towards setting targets and limits that its members approve of. Will this slow things down? Perhaps, perhaps not. Such a guild won't prevent accelerationists from doing what they want outside of its remit, and could help accelerate the research of its members. Will it help AI safety? Yes. Again, the independent accelerationists can't be stopped, but a guild with government approval and oversight can set safety limits that become industry standards over time. Is this not a better and faster means of speeding up safety research than trying to prevent everyone in the free world from doing AI research? So, what would be the best and far-reaching AI governance policy? One that sets up a guild that would have voluntary memberships and government oversight. It's not centralization if it's not enforced, and it's not decentralization if enough people are incentivized to join. It's a third way that can be more robust than either extreme. Yet that is all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you will join me again next time as we explore further questions about artificial intelligence and consciousness. I have been your guide, and this has been the Guidebook to Making AI Friends.